Welcome to Go For Side Effects. I'm your host, Kevin Simon. Y'all know my co-host, Big John.
Hey, everyone.
All right, everybody. We know there's a part 2 with Jim Brown that is going to be coming up, and hopefully that'll be next week. Our prayers are with him right now. He has a family emergency and everything. But so tonight, this right here will be a good thing. Because tonight, me and John are going to do something that we've been wanting to work with and we've been talking about for a while. There's a bill that we are going to propose to Congress and the Senate. And it is called the Veterans Outreach Program Act. And it's HR 22520. Under the letters, 22 is V, 5 is E, 20 is T. Stands out for vet. So this bill is going to be introduced by us. But before I get to the bill, I want everybody to know that we're going to be talking about a Facebook group that we're putting together that will be the affiliate of Go For Side Effects. And John is going to be totally in charge of it. Welcome, John, to that part. You're going to be in charge of this. And we're going to go. We're going to be going into details, but I want to read y'all the bill. So the bill that we are going to be proposing is the Veteran Outreach Program Act. This act involves all parties of World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, Southeast Asia, Iraqi freedom, Afghanistan, and who have ever served in foreign wars to the present. By the Veterans Administration outreach in VIA, TV commercials, social media, newspapers, text messages, marketing, all veterans and their spouses can learn more about the benefits and assistance available. Okay, so in this PACT Act that we're providing, it is one page. It will be on the Facebook page. But with this, the funding of it's TV ads. It's telemarketers, it's social media to get the word out there. This is to reach veterans that don't know about their benefits. I'm not talking about financial benefits. I mean, there is a part to the financial benefits if you have been hurt, if you have been exposed, like Camp Lejeune. And funding can come from the PACT Act. They put it under managed funds. You know, John? Instead of putting it in discretionary, it's managed funds. They could take $1 million and run TV ads all over the United States. And they could put out phone numbers out there for veterans from the Korean War, World War II, even Korean War, all the way to Vietnam for the elderly guys. The reason me and John been dealing with this, John, I would like you to kind of talk about one of the reasons why we're putting this together.
Well, we feel it's crucially important because there's so much that we all understand that there's a lot of information out there, and this is about how to go about getting the assistance. How to this isn't about what is the matter with you because your doctor is going to go through that. There's a tremendous amount of unknowns. What is step one? What is first and foremost? Well, that any veteran, you get this thing called the DD 214 bottom ground. That's number one. Okay, that's bare bone basic, and then we move from there and provide the information through basic communication, which our VA, like any large corporation, there's always room for adjustments. And anybody that's called into the VA understands it may take a little bit of time to get a warm body on the other end of the line. That being said, this is about providing information on what to do next. Where do you go? who do we talk to? Where do we go? Who do we call? How to go forward. This is not about our exposures, our personal issues. This is how to go move beyond that. When I say that's not a fair statement, how to get to that point where you can have that discussion with the provider. But it's the baby steps to get going on saying. And I say baby steps. I mean, I don't. It may be a poor term, but it's a little step at a time. You got to start at the very beginning. Kind of like everybody with basic training, you had no idea what the hell to expect when you came off that bus, and all of a sudden you're getting your ass chewed from both sides. Okay, well, what next? Well, reverse all that. We're all adults. I'm
and
out of the service. I've
and
got these issues. How do I move forward?
and
You
on
know?
top of that too, when he's talking about the baby steps, he's right. Take your DD 214, go down to your local VA clinics, your local VA hospitals, and go in there and talk to admissions. Get your ID card. Every veteran can get an ID card if you got your DD 214. Some may
Mhm.
make too money to qualify for benefits, which I understand. But there's one benefit that all of us qualify for, that step into war. That's elderly care. And this is
Mhm.
important for everybody to understand this. If you're not in the VA loop of the hospital with the cards and all that stuff, you need to be. Because when you get older, you're already in the system. You can call your VSO officer. You could call the VA if you need a wheelchair. If you
Yeah.
need,
Yeah.
yeah, if you need a walker.
Yeah.
If
So
if
and
it,
there's
assistant living.
and there's so I've Kevin and I have both learned through helping veterans about, we learn every day a little bit more information about what's out there, whether it's through our own circumstances or helping a fellow vet. And something that would seem relatively easy, about what's in it. How do I go out? Am I eligible for a wheelchair? Can I do this? Can I do this? And we're finding out. I mean, I know, and I'm sure Kevin, a lot of times you find out, hey, all of a sudden you get a call from the VA saying, can you be at this place at this time? We want to fit you for a wheelchair. And you didn't get anything in the mail before that. It's just like, oh, okay. And that's a little backwards, but it's how did you get to the point of getting the wheelchair, or how did that come into be? And all this is information that will be put out there as to who do you contact, what are the steps. We can't do it for you. We're going to provide you the information. It seems relatively basic, but the problem is that basic information simply isn't known because there's really not a platform. And you say, well, VA should be the platform. We don't disagree, but you have to understand how to, how do I get to that point, or who do I contact? Maybe I don't have internet. Um, there, maybe I can't remember things. Uh, Maybe you need to have someone take you from here down to the appointment. Um, and something as simple as I need an ID card. Well, do I have to call to get an ID card? Some places you have to make an appointment. We're in Iowa. It's a walk-in. You can go walk in and get your ID card, but you can't. No point in getting that ID card unless you're in the system. You got to be in the system because we had a gentleman I'm speaking to. He happens to be a Vietnam veteran, and he says, "Well, they told me to go into the emergency room for my ID." And I'm like, no, sir, no, no, you need to go to this. I helped him look up, figure out where to go, walk them along, help them along. And that's what we want to do. We want to help with the little step. It's not that it's, you don't know what you don't know, as the saying goes. And here's where you go to get your ID card. How do I know what's the quickest way to get something once you're in? How do I know that I'm being listened to? And you go online somewhere, where it's your local library, and you go on to this website called what, Kevin? Where do they go? You know,
Right.
I
I
mean,
mean, right. My Healthy
My
Vet,
Healthy Vet.
VA.gov. I mean, there's so many programs out there but the older vets don't have the internet.
Right.
Believe it or not, guys, I hate to say this, and ladies, we're getting on our 50s. And there's some of us who need that assistance now. There's some of us who are going to be going into these places, but they have no idea. I've been in, and one of the reasons I start this, let me explain why first. So there was a place that where my father-in-law was taken to, and in the beginning, and it was assistant living, and it was also a rehab facility. Not one time did they ask if you're a veteran. Not once. You were in a 2-bedroom place, but there was a veteran right down the hall with another guy screaming and yelling, TV's up loud, that had no idea about his benefits. I didn't know much about this myself. So when my father-in-law got out of the rehab assisted living, we moved him into this place. The first thing this place said to us was, hey, does he have VA benefits? And I started talking to them. I started realizing, holy crap, if he was a veteran, which he's he's not, he would get 3 packages. They take him down VA, I mean, assisted living, all this stuff. There are places out there. This place looks like a cruise ship. They take care of their vets. I mean, it's clean. They have single rooms. I mean, they got packages. So there's stuff out there for the veterans and where they're not taking your money. A lot of
Hmm.
places, you go to assisted living, they take all your money. Well, why the hell should they take your damn money? It's your damn money. So, that's where vets need to learn. And the VA has places where they place veterans and stuff like that and help them out, and the VA's overloaded. But there's outside sources that helps out with the VA. And this is the stuff that all of us need to learn and work together. Even the younger vets, because the younger vets are going to have to help us. And if they're not knowledgeable about it and we're not knowledgeable about it, the Korean War veterans aren't going to be, knowledgeable about it.
Yeah.
And with this bill that I'm proposing, what is the harm? They run ads on Camp Lejeune, which I'm grateful for because I know people signing up that really deserve it. But what is it for them to run TV ads with the VA's phone number to understand their benefits? Our spouses. Most people don't know that when a veteran passes away, their spouse gets their benefits as far as helping out with assisted living and stuff. A lot of vets don't know that. That's important. Or another thing is, if your children have to take care of you, they're funneling money out of their pocket to put you into a place and you're a veteran. The VA helps pays for that. It takes the burden off of your children.
This is,
Go ahead.
well, I was just going to say, Kevin and I are trying to provide information that simply isn't known. And because once a person, whether it's the caregiver, the family member, or the veteran themselves, well, I didn't know this was available, and we say, okay, do this. Like, you can go if you have access to the web, or let's say you get in and getting VA benefits, but you don't understand. Like myself, when I first got into the system, I didn't realize go on to something called the My Healthy Vet. I had no idea. Didn't know anything about it. Well, then that's what the VA uses. It's a website that you punch in information and you can communicate through the providers. That's one thing. And there's something. Well, I live a long ways from some place that provides I can't go to Des Moines, Iowa. It's too far away. Or wherever in Texas, wherever part of the country you're in. Let's say you live out in the middle of nowhere. Well, they have this thing that's called care in the community. So the VA outsources a doctor to help you. It's a little things like that that if you don't know, you don't know. And that can be a ginormous relief to the family members or the veteran themselves. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. That's what we're
That's
trying to
right.
provide.
Right. And on top of that, if like I only have VA healthcare. I lost my healthcare whenever Obama kicked in, and I had to learn the program. You can go to emergency room. You give them your VA ID. Yeah,
Mhm.
if you have to go to emergency room, but you got to call the VA and let them know you went to emergency room. I think it's within 48 hours, 24, 48 hours,
Yeah.
but let them know. And your primary care physician will call you the next day and say, "Hey, how's it going? When I smashed my thumb, my VA provider called me right away and asked me how everything's going. I didn't go because I took a pin and I shoved it into my nail and I was
Ugh.
able to relieve the pain. That's all they were gonna do to me there.
Oh,
But I before we get to the Facebook page, I wanna read some numbers off to everybody. VA question line. If you have questions, 1-800-827-1000. VA benefits line to know what your benefits are. 1-877-222-8387. That's an important number. If you want to get a My Health uh, uh, app going and start tracking your healthcare with the VA, 1-877-327-0022. An important one, Veterans Crisis Line, 1-800-273-8255. Them are the important numbers that everybody should know. So, but now what I want to get into is I'm going to get into the Facebook page. And the reason I want to get into the Facebook page because John, who is actually I made him run it. Everybody, I want everybody to know that. So he was like, "Oh, thanks a lot. I love it. Yeah, okay." But the reason I want to get into this is because I believe in taking care of every veteran. I care about every veteran. I care about everybody. Don't get me wrong. I care about everybody. But I especially care about veterans. And so the outreach program, if you have a question, you can get on there, ask a question, you can post your question. If you want to do it anonymous, you'll be able to send us a messenger and ask us questions. But the key thing is, I don't want it to be inundated with ads about, Desert Storm tanks or Vietnam, Warcrafts or, stuff like that. I want it to be questions about, hey, listen to this. I have a problem with trying to get my father into the VA at such and such place. Is there a number that I can call to help me assist this? Or I have an elderly neighbor that needs help. This is where we're going to go. This is why I'm telling all y'all this. There are many veterans out there, 80% that don't know their benefits.
yeah.
So with this outreach program, we want to reach every veteran that needs help. Everyone if we don't have the answer, we'll help you find it.
We damn sure know how to figure how to get you the help that you need. We have enough
Resources.
knowledge to get absolutely. And like I said, this will not be a web page about, well, I have this problem, I have this problem, meaning physical. There's other resources. That's not what we're trying to do. This is about, like Kevin just said, have helping somebody who may not know that they need help or can't remember enough. I'm helping my neighbor. He had no idea. And I just visited with him today. There's a lot of resources out there that most people are unaware of because it's not advertised. And so we're essentially going to be the advertisement in as far as information.
Right. And
Oh,
I want to answer this real quick. So Christy, she wrote down the spouses only get benefits if the veteran passes from a service connected medical issue. That's you're talking about something totally different. That's if they're at 100%, they get their financial. But when it comes to helping them with living with home health care or going into assistant living, you do qualify for it. The spouse does qualify for it. I know for a fact because I helped a veteran with her grandmother get into a nursing home and the VA helped. So yes, it does. And which I do understand what Christy's saying there on that. I think what she's saying, but if you are service connected and you're at 100% or even 20%, if you die that service connected, they get financial benefits right off the bat and all kinds of stuff. But we're talking about people that literally that when they get older and their husband is in the VA system or fought has a DD 214, that spouse can turn their DD 214 in and get help with living expenses. I know several of them that's working now. And so with me saying that, I apologize, John, but with me saying
no,
that, go. I want you to finish.
no, you're fine. Well, I kind of lost a little track of what I was saying, but so my neighbor, he is not service connected. He's a elderly gentleman, Korean War vet. Now, just because you're not service connected doesn't mean you cannot receive help. Yes, there are some financial stipulations. I don't know what all of them exactly are. I think it might vary. But that being said, this gentleman is going to get help from everywhere from getting somebody coming in to help clean his house, coming in to help things around, make the house safer. I just received a phone call. He's going to be going down and get fitted for a powered wheelchair. He's going to get a ramp put into his house. All of this of no cost to himself. Now, again, there's variations, folks. Understand that I don't have all the specifics on the monies, where the level has to be of how much money is coming into the household. I can figure it out. If somebody needs the help, I can assist you to get there. But that starts at ground zero with the DD 214 and moving from there. It's
And,
one step at a time.
and,
So
and I hope I'm saying this right. So if I butcher this name, don't don't get mad. It looks like it's either Met Hawk or Meth Hawk, something like that. Right. Sometimes someone needs to walk through and,
mm,
and that knows what the heck they're talking about. And it's true. Because if you don't know
yep,
what the hell is going on, it's a difficult process. But that's what
very.
we want to be there for. You know, Go for Side Effects is going to stick with the Desert Storm veterans, but we're also going to have this outreach that's going to go to all veterans. That
Yeah.
is my goal. That's my passion. My passion. And with that being said, you know, every month they have awarenesses. I want to create an awareness. How about from October 11th to November 11th, Veterans Outreach Awareness Month, starting at October 11th to November 11th, where everybody knows a vet. I know people who listen to my program have never been in the service, but they know veterans. Their parents were veterans. They didn't even know. That's what we want to help them with, to understand how they can help the kids, man. Because when you get elderly and you rely on your kids, it sucks. And I don't want that for my kids. I want my kids to know, hey, I got this, this, and this set up, and all that stuff. Like, I just found out burial services. Let's talk about this for a second. Burial services. You could call right now and get that crap set up. So when you're about 89 years old or 98 or 60 something, that's you have to set that up. They do it in an emergency when the vet passes. I learned that today. It takes up to 5 years to go ahead and get your approval. And your spouse can be buried with you. And so there's so many programs out there. There's a food program. There's all kinds of programs that we're learning, and we want to put it out there and reach to everybody. Now, I want to say this. I had a busy 2 weeks, but last Wednesday, my church, my church that I go to, the First Presbyterian Church of Conroe, they had me come speak, and it was to a lot of veterans that they had no idea. My pastor, who listens to this program, his name is David Green, and I want to say his name, and I want to tell him thank you. He is probably my biggest supporter. He guides me. And I mean, the church that I go to, and there was a lot of people there that listened to me and came up and talked. I explained to them about what happened during Desert Storm. But and I also want to thank Dina. I want to thank Mark. They asked me to come speak at this church, First Presbyterian of Conroe. And let me tell you, it makes me feel at home. And that's what I want this program to be about. People coming in, feeling at home. He's worked with veterans. He's talked to veterans. So he understands us. He comes from a veteran, his wife has a long line of veterans. And so I want to thank Pastor Green. I wanted to thank Mark and Dina for everything that they have done and let me come speak at the church. It meant a whole lot to me, and I thought I would personally just want to say that. And so almost got choked up. That's why I had to stop earlier. So, but I mean, I want everybody to have a home with me and you. I want them to know we're here for them. I mean, if bend an ear. I mean, guys, y'all know y'all could call me anytime. And so another, I don't know, is it a question? Is the National Resource Director has many nonprofit with all sorts of programs for vets, and that needs to be out there too. That's something we put that on the Facebook page. But everybody go to the Facebook page. You can find it off of Go for Side Effects. You can find it off of mine. But it is the Veterans Outreach Program Act on Facebook. Comment. If y'all got information we don't have, post it. That's what we want, to help these veterans out. And so, John, with that being said, I know you got a little bit more to talk about. I'd love for you to say what's on that ball-headed mind.
All that, that's for sure.
I had to throw my joke in there.
Who am I kidding? I just get rid of it. I'm not. No. I mean, most all adults know knowledge is power. Okay, and we're trying to put the power into our fellow veterans' hands, or their caretakers' hands, as to what to do and how to go about doing it. We're not here to diagnose what you have. We're here to provide information on how to move forward to getting the loved one the help that he or she needs. Bottom line. I mean, if there's a will, there's a way. Uh, you know, we I think it's a fair statement. All vets, we just we none of us want to give up, and we're here to keep the wheel going. Here's some more information. Here's how to go about the next step. Well, you didn't know what the next step was. Let me help you out. We can't do it for you. You got to be willing to self advocate. We can provide the information, and I'm more than happy to talk to you. It's one veteran at a time. And if I talk to you and I can help you, and then maybe you can reach out to a fellow vet and then help them. It's one veteran helping out another.
Amen.
So,
Amen. Preach it. You know what? I will say this about John. John is not just my co-host. He's a really good friend. I mean, I can honestly say I couldn't have picked a better co-host. And he better not get soppy and start crying on me or anything like
appreciate
that for an Army guy. But
Goes
really,
both ways, Kev. Goes both
it
ways.
does. I mean, me and John are two peas in a pod on this podcast because he thinks. I don't think, I react. He's my thinker. He's the one that says, okay, Kevin, well, let's look at it this way, and I say it like this or do this. But we don't rehearse. Nothing we say, everything we say on here is we don't. Our podcast is straight through.
Yeah.
But this act is probably one of the most important ones, and we will post it on the Facebook page so everybody can read it. I'm going to present it to all of Congress and all of Senate by the end of this week. And I mean, all of them are going to be inundated with this email that I got put together. I had to use proper terminology, not my redneck term. I got to have my daughter over, read it all, make sure I can send it out properly. But we all got to come together, and this is the time to do it. And we do. All veterans need to come together. No group is better than other. No war is any different than any other war. The only difference is we're divided. Now let's come together. I mean, we band our forces together. There's nothing we can't do. We can change so much and get these veterans off the streets, get these guys out of these terrible living conditions and that they're living in assisted living. I truly believe that. But I do want to, I want to thank John again. I want to thank everybody for, supporting the podcast and listening to it and spreading the message. I really appreciate it. And if y'all have any questions, y'all reach out to me. Y'all have a great night.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for listening to Go For Side Effects. If you have any stories you would like to share or just have any comments or questions, please email me at kevinsimon@goforsideeffects.com. Just to let all of our listeners know, we have opened an online store. All proceeds will go to helping veterans connect. The link will be in the description below.